Money, money, cash goes. 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 Money, cash goes.
This is Money Cash Goes, where we seek out expert advice and strategies on how to make money and spend cash to accomplish our goals. Today, we have a great man, Norvel Lasserre. He was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. He made history as the first African American cognac producer via being a co-founder of Lasserre International, a company based in Cognac, France. He's the creator of Lasserre Liqueur, honey, and cognac, a very unique, smooth, and tasteful cognac blended with honey. Lasserre is currently the only honey cognac being sold in the USA. Norvel is also a savvy real estate investor, a visionary, and inspirational speaker. He's an example to many that all things are possible when you keep God first, believe in your talents, and never give up. Norvel, how you doing tonight, brother?
I'm doing awesome, man. I appreciate that warm welcome, man. Introduction. I really do.
Yeah, I am Lemont Walker, and tonight we'll be getting down and dirty and learning some things about the beverage industry and how you can build your wealth in real estate. I read that you had some ties to France, Norvel. Could you give us a little bit on your background and tell us a little bit about your connection to France?
All right. Well, all of the says come from France, and I always heard the story from my grandparents about these two brothers that traveled to the U.S. back in the early 1800s and settled in Louisiana. Uh, they bought some land, started a family, became farmers, and long story short, this is where we come from. You know, so I had to research all the way back to my fifth generation great grandfather, who was from France. So I wanted more information on him because I received all the information about the two brothers. I found out who they were. I didn't know their names or nothing like that. So when I found out all that information, it led me to my fifth generation great grandfather. But I wanted more information on my oldest grandfather, so uh, I could find out if I still have family in France somewhere. I mean, there's got to be some family out there that's related to Blaze. That was his name, Blaze Lasserre, my fifth generation great grandfather. So that's how it all started. And that's my ties to France right there.
First African American cognac producer. Now, um, how did you get to that point of being the first, and, how is it to being in that beverage industry and being one amongst many?
Man, I'm gonna tell you something. I had no clue that I was the first. I mean, I knew that there's other black owners of cognac brands, but none of them own a company in Cognac, France that actually produces. They just contract with the distillers out there with, and they get it shipped, to down here. I don't know if they bottle it in the U.S. or bottle it in France, but for me to be, when I went to France, I didn't even go to France for cognac. I mean, it was like I was just trying to find out where I come from. And I don't know if y'all ever heard the story. In order for you to know where you're going, you must know where you've been. You know what I'm saying? So you got to know where you come from in order to know what your direction is. So I took that saying and I see, man, I went to cognac looking for, trying to find out where I come from, and I find my direction. And when I got the cognac, I took a little view of France to Paris, and then I took a 2-hour train to Lyon, France, and that's where this big business forum was held. At it's called the Futuralium, and I didn't know what I signed up for, man. So I knew it was a trade mission, but I had never been to an international trade mission before. I've been to a domestic one. Prior to that time, I had never been to something like that. So when I got there, I'm seeing that they had 39 countries, different countries had participated in that event, and I'm looking at these sheiks with these turbans. I'm talking over 500 businesses from all over the world was there to do business to business transactions. And I'm looking around, and I'm seeing these sheiks with these turbans on. I'm seeing these African brothers and sisters, people from China, people from the UK, all over, man. And I'm just scratching my head like, man, what the hell did I sign up for? So I'm like, man, I ain't never been to something that huge before. So I'm looking around. I promise you, man, I realized I was the only African American from the United States that participated in that event. An event that big, I couldn't believe that no black person from the United States, man, was tapping into something like this. That was mind-boggling to me. So it was at that moment that I realized that I couldn't leave there. You know what I'm saying? Because my plan was to just go to the trade mission, show my face the first day. Because I felt kind of bad. The people were so nice, man, in the delegation that I was a part of. They helped me fill out all the forms and stuff to be a part of the trade mission, and they set up all these companies that I was scheduled to go meet with, and I didn't want to just disappear on them because I had to go to South France in Saint Salva to complete my research. Excuse me. And that's like around the south, around the border of France and Spain. And they keep all the records in a big castle-looking church out there. So I had to go out there to finish my research. But once I saw what was going on at the trade mission, I had to put it on hold, man, temporarily. And I said, man, some kind of opportunity going to come out of this event. I just didn't know what it was at the time. At that moment when I was thinking about it, I said, man, some kind of opportunity going to come out of this, man. I said, I'm going to have to stay here and see what, how this is going to play out. And, man, that was the best decision I made, bro, in my life, man. Staying at that trade mission changed my life.
Man, that's an
my
amazing thing.
My life went into a whole different direction after that, man.
And see, and being at conferences like that, I heard you when you say you saw all those sheiks and Africans and all those different cultures, and you said that you were the first, I mean, not the first, but the only African American. Is that a motivation for you? Because I see you around a lot, feeding and pouring into people. Is that a motivation for you and drive you to pour into people?
Being the first African American cognac producer.
Well, when you were at that conference and you were the only African American there, when you saw those sheiks and people from China and Africans and things like that, when you decided to stay there, but you also said that you were the only African American there.
Yeah, I was the only African American there, and it wasn't a motivation, but it was I felt a responsibility. You know what I'm saying? I felt like, all right, a lot of black folks don't know what's going on with around the world with stuff like this right here. So if I leave this, I'm doing the whole black community a disservice.
Yeah.
Not just me. I felt like I was representing every black person in America, bro. So it was more like a responsibility, at that point, because it's like the greater good heavily outweighed my own self-interest. Because I went down there to go research my family, but once I saw what was going on at that event, it was bigger than what I went down there to do. So that's what I felt. I felt a responsibility to my people, man.
It sounds like you a man on a mission and a man with a plan and a king out here. I'm actually looking at the bottle, Lasserre. I actually have one right in front of me. Did you get your drink for tonight?
Oh man, I'm drinking Lasserre right now.
I'm about to crack.
Little tipsy, so excuse me if I sound a little slurry.
Man, hey, that's the thing about when you doing things and we control what we do. We can do it in the most authentic form possible. We're gonna get jewels from somebody like you, man. We definitely are gonna always, have the time and be understandable for anything that's going on. But so I know we were talking about Well, I don't want to go too far away from the cognac, man. Let's talk a little bit more about Lasserre, man. What's your vision for Lasserre cognac, honey and cognac?
Okay. All right. There's three phases to the vision for Lascelles. All right. It starts off as Lascelles honey cognac, the product. That's the first phase. So first phase is to establish distribution channels for Lascelles honey cognac and expand across the U.S. and across the globe. So that's the first phase. And we on pace, man. We got about 8 states in 6 to 8 states in the U.S. We in South Africa. We got 47 countries in South Africa. We gonna be prospecting as soon as the COVID eases up out there a little bit. We gonna start prospecting those cities. And then when we finish with that, we gonna catch Western and Eastern Africa as well. Uh, we currently export from France to Denmark, and Denmark have a online store that they supply. They distribute to the whole the whole Europe. So the UK, Italy, all of Europe, Germany, all of so they distribute to all of Europe. By way of their online site. So all that's part of phase one. And phase one, we on pace to get to phase two. All right. Phase two is what we starting right now, which is the new products. We have a signature coffee drink called Creme de la Serre coffee, and it's a very tasteful coffee that's made with the La Serre honey cognac. We use agave in the place of sugar, coffee, and you top it off with some whipped cream and some pot of cinnamon. Man, I drink it every morning, man. I'm telling you, I done got hooked on it, man.
Man,
I
I was
can't
gonna
drink
ask you
coffee
how can I
without
how can I get my hands on that right there,
it.
man? That sounds delicious, man, especially in the
Man, I'm
morning.
trying to tell you, man, that look, but all right, we're gonna set it up where the creme de la Serre coffee, we're gonna do the creme de la Serre cafe. We're gonna open up the first one in New Orleans area, and specifically we're gonna get the French Quarter, like where the Cafe du Monde and all that set up because with coffee shop, you can go actually buy coffee that has liquor in it. So that's a brilliant idea.
Yes.
Once we get the first business up and going, we're going to use that business model to duplicate it and supply the state. Then we're gonna move to the nationwide, going from state to state, just putting different locations, franchising them out and stuff like that. So that phase. The second phase is going to include us owning the land and the building to each location that we set up. And we might sell the business or either franchise it out to an investor that wanna be in that business. And we also the next product, what is working on this product at the same time, which is the LaSalle Honey Cognac Lemonade. So the LaSalle Honey Cognac Lemonade is a awesome like a soft liquor, and it's refreshing. So this is a liquor. This is a drink that you can have during the day when it's kind of warm outside, or you at a barbecue, or you at a festival. You can really enjoy the lemonade with the LaSalle. Just like they got Mike's Hard Lemonade, we're gonna have the LaSalle Honey Cognac Lemonade. And we've already tested out. We did the Crab Festival in Slidell. We had like about 5,000 people, man, that was buying cups. We made so much money out there that weekend, man. It was crazy. Then we did the Sugar Festival. We did the Blues, Brews, and Barbecue Festival. You know what I'm saying? Which we had we all right. The Crab Fest was like a mixed crowd. All right, but the other festivals we done was more like majority was white crowd. And when I tell you everybody, I don't care what color you was, man. everybody, man, they was going crazy over that lemonade. So we definitely gotta actually package that up as a product and start selling it out the store, setting it up. So that's the second product. All right. The third phase, because we're in the real estate, we're gonna be setting up. We're gonna build what you call Lasserre Lux in all the major cities. The Lasserre Lux is a bed and breakfast. And at the bottom we have a nice little exclusive bar. We're gonna have a nice little exclusive liquor shop at the bottom, and we also gonna have the Creme de Lasserre Cafe at the bottom of all of our Lasserre Lux bed and breakfast. You know what I'm saying? So the Lasserre Lux bed and breakfast is we're gonna tap into Airbnb because that's what B&B stands for, bed and breakfast. So we tap into the Airbnbs. All right, our company supplies every Creme de Lasserre Cafe with liquor because they gotta use the liquor to make the coffee. So one company doing business with the other company, and this company doing business with the bed and breakfast because we need that cafe at the bottom to entertain the guests when they come to that city. So we're gonna, just like the cafes, we're gonna own the land and the building. You know what I'm saying? But we're not going to franchise the hotels. The bed and breakfast is out. That's going to remain, in-house ownership of it. So every location gonna be worth multiple millions of dollars, man. You know what I'm saying? And we have at least 50 to 100 locations. You know what I'm saying? That just tells you where we're going. So it's not where you at in life with business and stuff. It's actually where you're going. So that's the vision, man, right there. Pretty much. And it's a lot more. I just don't want to spend too much time.
Man, that's a lot right there.
Vision.
I mean, if anyone that's listening, you have to be appreciative to understand that you're getting a strategy and plans from that's a $1 billion plan right there. How many you said you talking about having? 50 to
At least
100?
100 locations.
At least 100 locations?
Yeah, across the U.S., yeah.
Yeah, man. That and you're not just talking about on one level. You just gave us 3 phases on, with multiple levels in between. And that's priceless right there to be in that.
Well, it's steps. It's steps, man. When you're in business and you building something, it's just like if you had some Legos, man. You start with your Legos, they might be all over the place on the floor. And you take one and then you take another one, and you keep stacking them up. And you building something. So it's different phases. You might build one phase and then have another phase where you build something to go on top of that phase. So building a business, man, is fun. Everything is gonna be difficult as far as hard, or it's not gonna be easy to do. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. But what I'm saying to you is fun, man. It's fun, man. It's almost like going plant a seed, man, in your backyard, and every day you watering that seed, and all of a sudden you start seeing it sprouting up. It's growing, man. And man, you really get excited.
Yeah.
When you see that something that you are building from zero, from an idea. You know what I'm saying, man? That's amazing, man. It's mind blowing to be to be real with you, man. I'm talking about it's mind blowing for me.
Yes,
you know what
man.
I mean? Like my background, where I come from, man. You know what I'm saying? I was part of the struggle. I know what it means to struggle in life, man. You know what I'm saying? But you gotta be a type of a mover and shaker, man. You gotta be a type of person, man, that's I'm gonna find a way to win. I'm gonna try to overcome all these obstacles. You know what I'm saying? I always was the underdog, man. Always, man. But I like being an underdog because I'm a sucker for a challenge, man. I step up to the challenge. Somebody say I can't do something, I'm gonna prove to them I could do it, or either I'm gonna prove to myself that I can do it.
Yeah, there you go.
So that's just how I am, man. I gotta take a chance. You know what I'm saying? You don't want no regrets, man. And it's all about, man. At the end of the day, it's all about, man, how you want to be remembered. When you leave this world. You know, what type of mark do you want to build? You know, I mean, 100 years after you're gone, man, if you don't do something amazing at this moment, you don't take this time out to say, you know what, I'm gonna go for it. I mean, against everything that everybody telling me, they telling me, man, no, don't do it, man. It's too risky and this and that and this. I'm gonna just go for it. Because whatever you accomplish in this day and time, it's gonna be remembered throughout the time. Generations and generations after we go, man, what we do today, man, is gonna be remembered if we do something great. You know what I'm saying? You go down in the history books, not just the history books, but your great, 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 great grandchildren gonna know your name. They gonna remember what you done. Same way I remember Blaze. I know about Blaze, man. Blaze was way before my time, probably in the 1700s. But I know that I had a grandfather named Blaze Lasserre. And that's because something special happened.
That's key,
His
man.
kids traveled right. His kids traveled to France and started producing. Besides the white kids they was producing, they started producing black children. The first black baby that was born, his name was Felix Shaw. That's my grandfather. My third generation grandfather. So from Felix Shaw, that's where my family come from. You know,
Man,
just amazing,
that's
man. When
powerful.
you, I mean, just imagine going through life, man, and all of a sudden you find out, bro, who your people really were. I ain't talking about the family that you know of and your great grandmother. So you start going back like fourth and fifth generations, and you discover, that the Lasserres wasn't slave owners, man. He came in, so he married the daughter of a slave, one of his sons married the daughter of a slave owner, but the Lasserres never had their own, it was never slave owners, man.
Man, that's
You know,
powerful, man. I myself, man, I would love to know, how, my lineage and where I come from, in totality. And it's so many people that don't know. And the fact that you can, really go up the line, up your bloodline and see where you come from, that trickles down, and that's a different type of spirit that's in you when you do know those things because you know it's in your blood and you know you can do it because it's already been done. But I hear you, always going into family and things like that. And I did hear you when you was talking about your different phases. You spoke on your real estate. Now, you're building wealth in real estate and with your cognac. Can you tell us, what you've been doing in real estate to, build your portfolio and just your wealth in it?
absolutely, man. I created a trust, and I created a private trust for asset management and private banking. And with a trust, you can't legally own a trust. But the trust is for your beneficiaries, which is your biological children. So your children is going to inherit your trust. When we leave this world, if we have a trust, the way my trust is set up, my children is going to inherit it. You know, and I got it set up where they can't sell none of the properties either, but they can benefit off it. So and one of my children is going to be my successor because I'm the trustee of the trust. So something happened to me. The most responsible kid I have is going to be my successor, and they're going to take over. All right. So the trust is set up to buy assets. You know what I'm saying? Which is income properties, tax liens, tax deeds, which is called adjudicated property here in Louisiana, foreclosures, and we're not going to be limited. We even going to start buying. Well, we have some commercial properties, but we don't have nothing built on them yet. But commercial properties, multifamily properties, and just land period, and those type of assets are going to be around forever. You know what I'm saying? So I look at it as like we buying back God's earth. So accumulating the real estate is a major part of our. It's going to be a major part of our success because real estate is where the wealth is at. All right, you can go invest. You can have money. You know what I'm saying? And go invest in stocks or whatever you want to invest in. You know what I'm saying? You can generate more and more money. But the dollar is not worth nothing. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, man, we're gonna get a notification one day saying that, all the money we got in the bank, y'all thinking it's worth $100. If you got $100, you're thinking it's worth $100, really worth 10% of what you thought it was worth. And when we get that message, guess what? You know what I'm saying? That FDIC insurance that they insure $250,000 of your money, that only applies to one bank. You know what I'm saying? So if you got $1 million in 4 different banks, if you got $1 million divided up in $250,000 in 4 different banks, they're only going to guarantee you up to $250,000 in one bank. So you're gonna lose the other 750. You know what I'm saying? That's the way they got it set up. So, a way to leverage your wealth that we building and to preserve it. Because it's easy to make money, but it's hard to keep it. So to preserve it, you have to dump it into real estate. You know what I'm saying? Because as soon as you buy the real estate is worth more than what you paid for it. So you like, for example, I could buy a property for $50,000, and the property might be worth $150,000. As soon as I sign the purchase agreement, or as we sign the cash sale, guess what? I just increased
Instant
my net
equity.
worth by $100,000. You know what I'm saying? And so every time you buy, you increase your net worth when you purchase, when you first buy. You know what I'm saying? And that's not even counting the cash flow that you're gonna make off. You know what I'm saying? So you have to build, you have to leverage your money right now, because the dollars is like monopoly money. You know what I'm saying? You don't take monopoly money seriously because it's not real. You know what I'm saying? But you have to have that mindset with the currency, with the US dollar. And the reason why is because that money ain't real either. It's fiat money.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the IOU, but it's not really backed by what you think it's backed by. So real estate is going to have more value than cash. It's more valuable than the money. So it's like you using junk dollars to buy valuable assets. So that's a smart-minded individual to do that right now. You know what I'm saying? So when we do get that notification, it ain't gonna matter because you got so many assets, and the people that's renting from you, or either buying from you, or lease purchasing from you, whatever, they're gonna start paying you in the new currency, whether it's a digital currency or whatever. It don't matter. They still gonna pay the same amount of money that they was paying you with them junk dollars. So whenever the new currency come out, or whether it's Bitcoin or any kind of digital coin or whatever, guess what? You're gonna start receiving that as rent. So you have to play the devil's advocate, man. You have to make your finances bulletproof. You know what I'm saying? You got to think of ways that, man, what if this happen in the world, or what if that happen? You got to kind of anticipate what's going on in the world with the money. With the with you know what I'm saying, with the currency. And look at what's going on with the exchange rate on the currency. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm paying close to 130 $1.30 for €1. You know what I'm saying? I remember I was paying like $1.05 for €1, man, about 3-4 years ago. You know what I'm saying? So the dollar is losing value. Then plus you got folk it's losing value because of this, interest rate is growing at 4% every year. 4-5%. Yeah. So we have to anticipate, if you building wealth, bro, you're on a mission to build wealth, and you trying to establish a legacy for your family. You have to anticipate what's going to happen between now and the time that you leave this world. You got to assess what the world is doing, on a global level, with the exchange rate, and what you got to look at what's happening with the U.S. currency. And then once you start studying that type of stuff, man, it's gonna make you a lot more. It's gonna give you a lot more ideas about how to preserve your wealth. So man, with that said, man, that's just so powerful, man.
Yeah, man, and that's amazing, man. You're giving us a wealth of knowledge and a lot of things that that we need to look at, and to add to our toolbox. Especially when you're talking about looking at the world and how the world can affect you. Being prepared and anticipation. That hit me hard. We definitely appreciate that. Right now, I'm definitely gonna ask you. Got to put you on the Money Cash Goals hot seat because here at Money Cash Goals, we're all about getting started and how somebody can get started today. And I know you have some things that you're doing in a major way. But what could you tell someone that they can go do right now in one of your industries to go make money?
Real estate or the liquor or any industry.
Any industry.
Okay. I mean, it's a lot of ways to get money, man. I'm talking on all levels. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if they just trying to make money, every day, what I'm saying, on a daily basis. All right, you trying to minimize, your investment in that business. Little or no money. All right, I'm gonna give you a scenario. Man, I wish they had some more people in this room, bro. Because boy, I'm telling you, man,
Oh
this
yeah,
the type of shit, bro.
this is being recorded. We use Clubhouse as a form of recording versus Zooms and things like that. We want to keep it all passionate how Clubhouse has created with the audio. So yeah, this is going on YouTube and it's going on all platforms. It's coming out, and I'll let you know when we're
All right,
releasing it. Oh yeah, we're definitely giving it to the world. That's why it's a very personal, passionate conversation. We want you to do your thing, and drop the jewels on them.
awesome. All right, this is what anybody can do. You know what I'm saying? Now, it's a little work, but you don't have. It's not going to cost you a lot of money. It might not cost little to no money. All right, all right. Wholesaling properties is a way where a person can make anywhere between $5,000 and $20,000 per contract. And I'm gonna explain to you what I mean. All right. When you find a motivated seller, and I'm gonna even explain how to find motivated sellers. But when you find a motivated seller, that means a person that really has to sell their property. Might not want to sell it, but they're motivated because of whatever circumstances they're going through. All right. So you find a motivated seller. If let's say their property worth 150,000, but they might be losing the property, between 50 and 70,000. You know what I'm saying? You can go to that person and say, all right, and it's a way to go. It's a proper way. You don't just pop up. You can send letters first, and then if you don't get no response from the letters, basically, you show up at the door. You know what I'm saying? Now, you find a motivated seller, and you get them to agree to sell you the property. All right, they might be losing it for 50. You tell them, say, look, I'm gonna give you 60 or 70 for it. That way you have about $10,000, $20,000 to go and put as a down payment on your next house because I'm gonna pay this house off. So on your credit, it's gonna look like you paid it off. So I'm gonna save your credit and I'm gonna give you some money so you can go buy you another house because your credit gonna shoot up when they update your credit score. It's gonna shoot up because it's gonna show that you paid off your house. All right. So once you negotiate with them, you get them to sign a purchase agreement. All right. Now, this is a purchase agreement that you put together. You know what I'm saying? So you take you can get a formulary, you can Google, purchase agreement, but you have to put an assignment clause inside the agreement, giving you authorization from the homeowner to assign this purchase agreement over to a cash buyer. All right. Now, when you and the purchase owner, the seller, when y'all sign that purchase agreement, you want to put up $1 to make it binding, legally binding. So it means you have an offer and you have an acceptance, which is the two elements to make a contract binding. And through that offer and acceptance, you have some type of cash value, which is like a deposit showing that money was exchanged. All right, you put up $1 to make that contract binding. Then now you got 45 to 60 days to go find a cash buyer. Once you find a cash buyer, you know what I'm saying? You tell a cash buyer, I got this property. It's going for $60,000 or $70,000. It's worth $150,000. All I want is $5,000 or $10,000 for the contract, for the purchase agreement. All right, and when y'all go to closing, the cash buyer is going to buy the property for the 70, and he's going to and the title company going to get the money from him. They're going to write you out a check for $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever y'all agree to. You know what I'm saying? Now think about it. This all happened without no money coming out of my pocket or your pocket or anybody's pocket except $1. That's it. You put up $1 to make the contract binding. If they want a little more than $1, put a little more than it. But whatever you put up is gonna be from $1 to $100. And I wouldn't recommend you put no more than that. If unless you know some cash buyers that's gonna jump all over that deal, don't put no more than that. You know what I'm saying? Now, how you find a motivated seller? All right. You can go to the clerk of court's house in your city, in the city hall or the courthouse where you live at. All right. You go in the courthouse. You go to the civil department specifically. The civil department. Once you get to the civil department, you tell them you want to go in the back. You say, man, I want to go in the back and research the foreclosure lawsuits. All right. In Louisiana, it's called executory processes. You know what I'm saying? This is like esoteric information. I'm telling you, man. You not. This is information that lawyers and law clerks and paralegals. This is information that they know about only. So and I'm gonna tell you, once you pull up a document, I'm gonna tell you every month, every month they have between 300 and 500 foreclosures going on in your city every month. All right, so you need to get that list every month. So you go in there, you looking up you might have to ask some people how to do it, to help you out as far as they can't give you no legal advice, but they can help you navigate through the library to locate the foreclosure lawsuits. In Louisiana, it's called executory processes. So don't be afraid to ask for assistance while you're in there because them law clerks, sometimes they be in their board. They be looking for somebody to come and, and talk to them. And, you can build a relationship with them, man. So every time you're going in there, they're going to always look out for you. You can be like, I got something for you. I got a stack of them for you already. That's how I did it. So when you go in there, you're looking at these documents, all right? It's gonna have a heading on it. The heading is gonna say either Bank of America or whatever mortgage company or bank that's foreclosing on the property gonna have their name at the top, and it's gonna be versus John and Jane Doe. All right. Then you're gonna have the title. In Louisiana, they call it executory process. So it's gonna say petition for executory process. All right. Right below that, it's gonna have a couple of paragraphs, which is gonna be uh, explaining the date that they actually purchased the house, how much they paid for it. So you're gonna know when they actually bought the house and how much they paid for it when they initially bought the house. All right. And then you scroll a little farther down, it's going to have a paragraph which is going to have a legal description of the property. And 9 times out of 10, at the bottom of that legal description is going to have the actual municipal address. All right. Now, when you scroll a little bit down, it's going to tell you how much they lose in the property, how much they owe on the property, and that's how much they lose in the property for. All right. So what you want to do at that point, first look at the address to see if it's in a good area, a good area where you would like to own a property, or if you're gonna wholesale it to somebody else, it don't matter where it's at as long as they got equity in it. So you scroll down, you're looking at how much they're losing. Let's say they're losing it for 7, but they bought it for 170. So that means they got $100,000 worth of equity at least, because if they bought it 10 years. If they bought it 10 years ago, guess what? It got more than the house worth more than 170. You know what I'm saying? So now they got more than $100,000 worth of equity in there. You know what I'm saying? So they got at least $100,000 worth of equity. You can ask for up to $20,000 for that purchase agreement. So definitely you want to check that one off as a property you want to pursue. All right, and then when you check that off, you're gonna go through the other 300. So you might have to go through 300 properties just to find 2. But it's gonna be worth it because them 2 gonna get you between $10,000 and $20,000.
Man, that's well worth it right there, man. And myself, I work in the real estate field, and we definitely use the wholesale strategy. But that right there, man, I have not utilized. I mean, not even utilized, used that, and you just dropped some new jewels on me. I can't wait to play it back.
you know what I'm saying? Because all right, there's a lot of people wholesaling, and there's a lot of ways to wholesale. You know what I'm saying? But I just want to eliminate the competition, man. So you got to understand, this is a pre-foreclosure. This is before it goes to the sheriff's sale. So once it goes to the sheriff's sale, you got everybody with deeper pockets than what you have that's gonna be coming in. They're gonna drive the price up. Especially if they got $100,000 worth of equity in them, man, they're gonna drive the price all the way up to where you're not gonna be able to compete with the price that they're going. But if you catch it before it get to the sheriff's sale, you short stop everything. You know what I'm saying? You short stopping everything. So most people they put out little signs and we buy houses, and what I'm saying. Everybody have their different strategy, but this strategy here is like a guaranteed list of motivated sellers. Now everybody not going to let some people want to go down with the ship. You know what I'm saying? And I'm telling you, when you're talking to them, you have to be real. You have to put on your counselor hat. You know what I'm saying? You have to become a social worker. You have to talk about, you have to be real with them. You know what I'm saying? But you have to really explain to them the main thing they're worrying about. They don't want their neighbors or their family or nobody to know they're losing their house.
Mm.
So that's the first thing you want to mention. You say, look, I understand your situation. I know you're going through some things, with your property, and trust me, look, your privacy is safe with me. Nobody, your neighbors, nobody gonna know what's going on, with your situation. You know what I'm saying? So I tell them it's your safe space right here. You can talk to me, and we're gonna try to work this out. Yeah, I am trying to buy your property, but I'm at least trying to buy your property and put some money in your pocket, so you can either go put that down on another property, you know what I'm saying, or go, you can take that and just go move on to some other place. You know what I'm saying? So you have to really, really talk to them and let them know that you understand what you're going through. But at the same time, I'm a businessman.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I can't just do this where I'm paying your house and you know what I'm saying and my money locked up and I can't recoup that investment or I can't recoup that money back. You know what I'm saying? And I need to be able to get that money back and be able to make some money on the property at the same time because that's it. I'm in business to make money.
I'm in
You know
business
what
to
I'm saying?
make
And once you
money.
right, you know what I'm saying? I'm in business to make money. You know what I'm saying? And and they understand that, man. You know, so once you break it down to them, like you don't go there with the trying to give them false hope. Man, I'm gonna help you save your house and all this right here. No, no, no. I'm here to buy your house. You
Yes.
know what I'm saying? I know you might not want to sell, but let me just hear me out. You know, you got to talk to them just like I'm talking right now, man. Just hear me out. You know, all right. If you don't come up with a solution, because all right now, also when you're researching the executive processes, once you find out all that information, you scroll all the way down to the judgment page. The judgment page is where the judge is actually going to sign the document. So once the judge signed the document, they date it. You got to look at the date on that document, and from the date that the judge signed that document, you got 60 days to get to the homeowner and try to convince them to sell you the property. All right. So if 15 days, if it's 2 weeks, the judge signed the document 2 weeks ago, that means all you got is 45 days left to get in touch with the homeowner. You know what I'm saying? So then you go send a letter, maybe send one letter. I wouldn't send two, but I send a letter every week. So if I just got 45 days, I'm gonna send one letter, and then the next week I'm gonna pop up over there. And I might have to come multiple times because you never know they might not be home. So once I talk to them and we make that agreement, I get them to sign the purchase agreement. In that purchase agreement, I have an assignment clause. That assignment clause gives me the authority to assign that purchase agreement over to a cash buyer, another investor. All right. So then I have a list of cash buyers in New Orleans that I call them and say, all right, hey man, what's going on? I got a property for you. And first thing they're gonna ask me, how much you want for the purchase agreement. I might say, man, give me five. All I want is $5,000. All right. If they got a lot of equity, and I say, well, man, I need 10 or I need 20. You know what I'm saying? He said, well, I'll take a look at it, man. Now if I say $5,000, he's gonna be like, all right, man, I got you. But if I see anything like around 10, 15, or 20, I'm gonna take a look at the deal and all that, and then that's when the negotiations start. They might come back, well, we'll give you 10, not 20. And if I decide I want to take 10, I'll take 10. You know what I'm saying? Because if I do 10 of those a month, that's $100,000
There you
a
go.
month.
There you go. And the thing
You
is,
know what
it's
I'm saying? I'm trying.
interesting. I was gonna say
Go ahead, go ahead.
it's interesting the way that you put it, because a lot of people, when they talk about wholesaling, especially when they're getting to the end buyer, they're more giving the end buyer the total price for the property. The way you're saying it, especially when even when you're talking to the seller of the home, you're being frank with them. Because even with our courses and things, we also always say that we're a solution based company, but we also let them know that we are here to make a profit. But you're telling your end buyers, this is how much I want for the contract. You're not saying, hey, here's a house for $100,000. You're saying, I got a deal and I want 5,000 for it. Here's the deal.
Right,
I want 10,000 for it. Here's the deal.
right. You know what I'm saying? Because what they're going to do is, if you go there and say, all right, I got a property, the purchase agreement for 70. All right, but you go tell them, say, man, I got a property, it's going for 80. First thing they're gonna do is try to give you a counter offer. So they might gonna say, well, man, I'll give you 70 for it, but you can't take 70 because all you got is you had $10,000 worth of wiggle room within it because the property going for 70 now unless y'all can kind of negotiate something with the bank and do a short sale where they sell it a little less than 70. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way you would be to make money. So you go straight to them and say, look, man, this property going for 70. All I want is $5,000 on it. I want $5,000 for the purchase agreement. So, or I want $10,000 for the purchase agreement. And once you tell them that, they can't negotiate what you want because what you want is that's the legitimate price. Now some people do it for $2,500. I mean, if they ain't got me, I'm not doing no deal for no $2,500.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Most of the deals I have, I'm telling you, the less I take is probably $5. And that's only because some of the properties gonna need renovation. You're gonna need little fixing up and stuff. So they're gonna have to put some money in them things. But if it's a lot of equity, I want 10 or 20, 10, 15 or 20.
Yeah.
And once I give them my price, they can go negotiate with the seller. Or they can go try to negotiate with the bank and do a short sale. Once I assign that agreement over to them, all my rights, all my interest in that property, it goes to them. So they can go try to work something out with the bank. The bank that's trying to foreclose on the property and do a short sale. But I'm gonna get my money.
Right.
Right. my price remains the same.
Yeah.
So now guess what? I didn't use no money. I mean that anybody can do that. Anybody. All it is work. You're gonna have to go talk to people. You're gonna have to really negotiate. You're gonna have to go do research. You're gonna have to, make calls. You got to send out letters. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You might have to go spend all day in the damn clerk of court's office researching all them goddamn foreclosures. I mean, because you got to go through all them documents. They might have anywhere from 500 foreclosures for the month. And let's say you go this month, you want to research all the foreclosures that was filed on the previous month, on the first of the previous month. You want to go back 30 days. All right. So that means, you're not going back too far because you ain't got time to save those. You got to do a lot of work to get in touch with those individuals. You're only going to have probably less than 30 days to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you only go back 30 days. So like if I go in April, I'm gonna research everything that was filed since March 1st. So from March 1st all the way to April 1st, she gonna give me the list. And I'm telling you, that list gonna probably be about 500 to 1,000 lawsuits.
Man.
And you're gonna have to go through all that, and you might go through all that and find 10. You might go through 1,000 lawsuits just to find 10 good ones. And out of the 10 good ones, you might get 4 or 5 to agree to sell to you. So at least if you're doing at least one per county or per parish or per city. Like I might go research them in New Orleans, then I might go research them in Jefferson Parish, then I might go research them all between the 1st and the 5th. I start at the early of the month. I might go to St. Charles Parish, St. Baton Rouge Parish, St. John Parish, and I get up and go through all that stuff, and then now I got a list of motivated sellers. So I'm sending letters out to all these people. All right. And I'm waiting on a response. And if I don't hear a response, then the next week I pop up to their houses and talk to them. Yeah, I might have 10 people out of all them parishes, all the counties. I might have 10 people, but some people see New Orleans, some people see in Baton Rouge, some people in the middle. But guess what? Out of them 10, if I make anywhere from 20 to 30 or $40,000 out of that, it's a great. Even if I make 10,000, what I'm saying? At worst case scenario, it's still a win-win. Yeah, but I ain't spend no money.
Right,
it didn't
right.
cost me
That's
a dime.
the beauty.
It just cost me time.
Right. And I think that's the biggest thing, Norvel, when you talk about those lists, having so many that you have to go through to find 10. But I think that's the advantage, because a lot of people are not going to do the work. Because like you said, things are not easy, but they can be simple if you know how to do it with a plan. And a lot of people, are not going to go do that work. So I would think that would stack the odds up, especially when you talk about foreclosures.
Right. Most people, man, in real estate, man, they using banks. You know what I'm saying? And you know, when they start building relationships with them lenders, and once they get a couple of assets under their belt, man, they start rolling from that point. You know, I used to do it like that, but I stopped, man, because when the '08, when the market crashed, man, I couldn't rent the properties, I couldn't sell them. You know what I'm saying? And the money I had stacked up, you know, I started using that to pay, you know, to pay the line of credit off. You know what I'm saying? The credit lines and stuff like that. So, you know, all that stuff ate up all my cushion, man, all my capital. And I wind up losing the houses anyway. You know what I'm saying? So I should have just stopped paying on them when just kept my little capital. And shit, man, when that shit happened, I was like, man, I said next time I get into this thing, man, I'm gonna make sure I own these properties.
Right.
But I didn't have a whole right.
Yeah, and
I
see
didn't
the
have a lot
thing.
of money to work with. You know what I'm saying? When you don't
Right.
have a lot of money to work with, you gotta find
Yep.
creative ways to make money.
Yep.
And being in real estate, if you don't have no money and you ain't got the banks behind you, what better way? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and start wholesaling some properties. And then you start making a little money. Once you make enough money, you go buy your own property.
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? You can start buying them now. You know, you buy them, you know, just put them on the side, fix them up, flip them, sell them. Now you can, the ARV, if the ARV is 150,000, man, you can put it on the market. You sell it for 150 or 130 or 140. I mean, look at the money you done made off one of them things, especially if you spent between, you know, 50 and 75 for it, and you sell it for 150 or 130. You know, that's between that's like a $50,000 to $75,000 profit that you're making off that one property. But that's when you build your money up to buy. You know what I'm saying? That's the whole plan. You know, you start off wholesaling and then eventually you start buying.
There you go.
You know, now you ain't gonna have enough money to buy all of them, so you buy the ones that you can buy, and you wholesale the other ones that you can't buy. Just wholesale them out.
And
now you're making money on top of money.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is that you started with no money, and what I will say before we go to the next thing is that you can go make money off wholesaling. We can verify that right now. We can get started in that. This is Lemont again with the MCG team. Our specialty is showing people how to make money in real estate with little to no experience or license. If you're interested, email us at solutions@baxbill.com to get started today. We encourage everyone listening to join the MCG team for free business tips and tools by going to moneycashgoals.club. Be sure to subscribe and share the show with anyone that you think will benefit from it. The links are in the description. Remember, let's be free, financially, healthily, mentally, spiritually, all 4 seasons as one free up season. Be great.
My mind been gone for a long time. Been busy out trying to get bread. Boy, putting in work for a long time. While I'm out back in here, I done reached my limit of the bullshit. Needed 40 acres in a cool whip. Get it? Smooth clap with a cool kick. Yeah, I do's this. Yeah, I rules this. Like cap ain't moving. Till the cap start moving. I ain't losing. Nah, better put some respect on my name. The remix is never the same. All this knowledge I'm giving you game. All this knowledge I'm giving you game. All this knowledge I'm giving you game. All this knowledge I'm giving you game.
Money, cash, goals. 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 Money, cash, goals.
Man, for real, no, man, 98, 99, 2000 era, man, we was on some money cash holes, really thinking that's what it's all about. And now we know in 2021, you gotta have goals and ready to accomplish them in a way that find out how to. We on money cash goals, man. For real. That's what we on.
Money, cash, goals, the only life that I know. Been told through multiple flows, creating multiple shows, multiple lives, the life that I live. Money is the cash on hand, cash be the bands, goals be the shit. Next level grit on the shit, get your piece of land. When you come through, and the sky is a sunroof, and the water is so blue. You and the wife in the sand doing 1-2. My life, yeah, I love you. Life's great, go play. We straight, on time, always early, never been late. Never diamonds, only jewels, strip gold, money, cash, execute the goal.
Money, cash, goals. Money, cash, goals. Money, cash, goals. Money, cash, goals. Money, cash, goals.